Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard 100, a video series documenting the culling of my collection down to a mere 100 games. Remember, there's only 3 rules. Rule number 1, can't get rid of a game until I played it. But good news, I'm not just playing by myself anymore. Had a friend come over recently, so the next few weeks are going to be full of games that I actually played with someone. Rule number 2, the expansion plus a game equals 1 game, even if it spills out of the box. And rule number 3, once I get all this mess down to a Hard 100, it's 1 in, 1 out. Today, we are going to talk about a co-op. We're going to talk about a game that is unfortunate. I don't want to spoil anything, but this box does not do the game justice, and not in the way that you think. Escape from 1 Million B.C. by Kevin Wilson is a co-op game for a few players, although I don't know why you would want to get people together to play this game. Is that too mean? It might be too mean. So here's a game that if I would have had this game when I was in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, it would have blew my fucking mind. It would have been amazing. This theme of being blasted back into 100 million BC. And then when you land, your time machine gets scattered into a bunch of parts and you gotta go find them. And then, you know, chaos ensues, dinosaurs, you open up time rifts, and important people from history get launched back in time, and who knows, you might have to go save Teddy Roosevelt, or you might have to go save JFK, or, I don't know, the dude. So, the game is a game. By Kevin Wilson, no less. Kevin Wilson of... oh, I love it. I love it. Elder Sign. He also made Arkham Horror. It's one of the most influential games ever, love it or hate it. But this just feels like what I will call a poor man's version of Eldritch Horror. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me walk you through a turn on what I'm gonna do. I have my soldier, I have my investor, and I'm gonna take a turn. What I do is I take my little dude, I'm gonna move her according to the feet. So here we go. I move 1, oh, got a new tile. Come over to my time machine, draw it, take a look at it. Oh, that's not a good one. The right one, flip it over, put it under her, and there is nothing there, so I can continue my movement. And I'm going to go down into the swamplands, or the valley, where the hell this is. All right, and awesome. So I get to this little icon here, says that I get to spawn an item, and I get to draw a card. Awesome. Big old one eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll some dice against this guy to determine if I'm going to fight him or not. And I'm going to go ahead and fight him for the sake of showing you how fighting works. He has a strength of 10. I have a strength of 5, or a brawn. And I'm going to go ahead and use my ammo to try to shoot my machine gun at him. So he rolls 10 goddamn dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're looking for successes. Nope, nope, nope. 4, 5, and 6 are successes, and that one exploded into nothing. So he has 4 successes, so I get to roll 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to try to kill him. I got 3, but these 2 explode, so roll 2 more. And I got 1, so we tied. And as an attacker, I do believe I win ties. So I kill him, he dies, and the paradox goes up 2 because, you know, you shouldn't be killing dinosaurs with machine guns. And that's a turn. After the other dude takes his turn, we will roll some dice to do the paradox turn, look at rifts, and do other stuff. So Escape from 100 Million BC is a co-op game. On your turn, you do the things that you saw, and then you are just chucking handfuls of dice. If you love dice, you might like this game. If you are between the ages of 12 and 15, you're gonna love this game. I played it by myself. I know I said I had some friends over, but this one I played by myself, and it was not fun. The art, look at this board. This board is a travesty. I don't know how responsible game developers are for designing the game and then putting the art in the game. But the art on the cards is good. It's pretty good. The art on the board looks like someone went into Microsoft Paint and just made a board. And look at this time machine. This is supposed to be the time machine. Okay, Now, when it comes to theme, I am a sucker. This box, look at this box. Who would not buy this box? Look at it. It's beautiful. There's a dinosaur and another dinosaur and a plane. And look at that guy. He's got a gun and boots and water. Look at all this stuff. It's super awesome. And when you flip this game over on its back, look at that. It's got some stuff, but then you're like, wait a minute, that board. Is that what the board looks like? Is that what the board looks like? Ugh. But then as you're holding, you're like, ugh, that's hefty. That's some hefty board. Oh, here we go. Box art by Alex Horley. Alex Horley, you are a blessing. Interior art by Natho Diaz and a bunch of other people. Vincigo Federici and Jordi Yus. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure if this is your calling. Whoever did the interior art on the cards, okay. Whoever did the board, terrible. There are boards out there that show a similar thing, hexagons, and they represent different terrain. There's a game called Tikal that has a wonderful system where it does this. We're going to be looking at a game in a couple of weeks called something about El Dorado that Reiner Knizia did. The board on there is beautiful. It's just a couple of terrain types. I don't understand how a game with this box, that box, can have a board as boring as it is. Oh, board games. I finally get it. Board is just, it's not good, guys. But let's talk about the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself has you, as I showed you before, just doing one thing. You move until you hit a tile that you flip, and then you do a thing on the tile by drawing a card. That's it. No big deal. And those are the rules. I could teach this to someone very quickly. We're gonna learn how to play. We learned by playing, and then we do it, and then we all have a good time, and we ha ha ha, and yo ho ho ho. But here's the thing. This game, as a co-op, as I grade these, has a butt clench rating of about a 1.5. That's nothing. I didn't feel tense at all playing this game. The only tension, and the reason why it's getting a 1.5, is because there's a little bit of tension coming from when you roll the dice and hoping that they come up what you want them to come up with. But there's no other tension otherwise. I stumbled across the time machine parts, which are these little fucking gears, which are so boring. I stumbled across those pieces, just kind of doing nothing. There's no real direction. Time rifts will open and you have to go save people, otherwise there will be paradoxes, and if this paradox track goes up to the very top, it explodes on the volcano and then you all die, whoop-de-doo. I wanted this game to end so badly that I didn't even care about the paradox track. Because when you find all the timepieces, you go back to the volcano, the doctor puts it together, and then you jump back to the future. I don't know the theme. But there's also items that came with you, and the equipment that you find in the world are things like guns and rays and candy bars and things like that that you probably don't want paleontologists finding, or archaeologist. What was Bones? Bones was a paleontologist. No, she was something with an A. I'll figure it out later. So if they find these things, you're gonna create a paradox. So someone will find it, I guess, in the future and go, why was there candy in 100 million BC? C. So you kind of want to do some exploring to get those items so you don't leave them behind. Okay, I guess. But here is what is neat. Here's what I did like. In the rulebook, rulebook's fine, teaches you how to play the game, has a nice little chart on the back, not too complicated, it's not the prettiest thing, but you know what? It works. Rulebook works. But at the very end of the rulebook, depending on how well you did on the track, it will give you a scenario based on how many paradoxes you made. And here's what mine was. So when you go back to the future, and this is clearly the best part of the game, I got a 20. So I had 20 paradox, and that was me barely trying. Here is the future I went back to. Artificial intelligence now controls all major decisions for humanity. You have returned to an easy, if incredibly dull, timeline. This must be the timeline where this is the only game that exists. Burn! Like I said, if I was in the 8th grade, it would have been awesome. I can't even imagine. It seems like a gateway between playing sort of a D&D to some of the heavier stuff. Something else when it comes to the design of this game, on the side of the board there are places for you to put cards. The various stacks and decks of cards, because setup for this game is actually really easy. You shuffle some cards, you put them where the game tells you to put them, and you stack the tiles on your time machine as opposed to spreading them out all over the board. So setup is pretty quick. The problem is that decks of cards are not super thick, but they're not super thin either. So when you put them on the board, they kind of lean, and I guess that's for grabbability, but it just kind of makes a mess of things. So I just wish I just put them next to the board instead of on the board because it makes for a cleaner look. The components themselves, pretty good. The card stock's pretty good. All of the bits and pieces and kind of stuff. The equipment is little cubes. It's the graphic design, guys. Graphic designer art, I don't know who to blame. Someone is to blame, not the person who put this picture on this box. I know some people might not be a fan of standees, the little cardboard thing that goes in a stand and you hip, 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 hip. This game loves them. Everything goes on a standee. I go on a standee, you go on a standee, Monsters on a standee. Everything, it's all over the place. I don't mind. I actually do like them. I think it's a way to cut down costs. It still keeps me involved thematically. I don't need a game with a billion minis, Rising Sun. But, you know, it didn't take away from my enjoyment, it didn't add to it. It's fine. But here's the thing that baffles the mind. Ahem. 1 to 6 players. Okay, if I played it by myself, as I mentioned, there's no decisions, you're not working with anyone. Everyone essentially just kind of goes out on their own. So playing as 6 players is okay. To have someone to high five around the table whenever you finally punch a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the face, kind of neat. 60 to 90 minutes, I guess, that's not bad. But here's the thing, ages 14 and up. I don't understand that. I googled what grade you would be in 14 because as a kid, I don't remember how old I was for things. I remember what grade I was in. And 14-ish is about 8th grade. 8th grade, okay, you go into high school, okay. I'm thinking like that Stranger Things kind of age. Okay, that's about right. But no, like 6th grade, 7th grade, even some smart 5th graders. This isn't, I don't know where the 18 comes up, maybe Peril, because there are some dinosaurs in here. There's some cool dinosaur looking things too. There's like a Megalodon, and every terrain type has its own special boss monster that I happen to pull twice because I played this game twice and I pulled it twice in a row. What the hell? But, art on the cover, phenomenal. I want to put this box on a game that maybe has a boring box art and then just like hand write the name of that game because this box art is pretty great. But this game is not going to my collection. Thank the baby Jesus that I got this at Barnes & Noble for half off because this box has been calling me for a long time. Look at it. Wouldn't it call you? Look at that guy. I've already mentioned that guy, but game's boring as balls, guys. Verdict, it's out. I'm gonna get rid of it. It's a heavy box too, so when you're holding the box, you're like, oh, it's heavy. I want there to be something in it, but there's nothing in it. I would rather play Eldritch Horror, which is the closest thing I can compare this to as far as going on adventures, flipping a tile, drawing a card and doing a thing, to tell a story. Oh, Oh, that's it. So 100 million BC and Escape From. It's okay. Don't buy this game. I'm gonna get rid of it soon. And if you have a kid who is younger than this, so between, I would say 11 to 14, this game is bomb as hell. They're gonna have the best time. As a parent playing this game with your kid, know that they're gonna be having a lot more fun than you. I wish it was better. Kevin Wilson, you deserve better than this. You deserve better than IDW giving you whatever the art is in this game. Because IDW has made some pretty good games that I've enjoyed. But this is not one of them, guys. Again, my name is Billy. It's been a pleasure. Join me next time as we take a look at a game that I actually played with someone, I promise. And we will take care of that when we see you. Have a good one.